It's the question that drives us, Neo. It's the question that brought you here. You know the question, just as I did.
What is the Matrix?
So, how did Morpheus find Neo? I mean, there were billions of people in the Matrix, so how did Morpheus pinpoint Neo? And how did he conclude that Neo was the one? Like everything in the Matrix trilogy, there's a hidden story beneath the surface. Morpheus didn't stumble across Neo in some database search. He didn't run Neo's name through a prophecy algorithm, and he definitely didn't get lucky. Here's what actually happened. Morpheus found Neo the same way the Matrix lost him, through repeated acts of disobedience. By day, Thomas Anderson was a quiet guy who worked an IT job and kept his head down.
In one life, you're Thomas A. Anderson, program writer for a respectable software company. You have a social security number, you pay your taxes, and you help your landlady carry out her garbage.
But during the night, he was someone else. He was living a double life as a hacker who called himself Neo. He was screaming into the void, breaking rules, bending systems, living a double life that made no sense to anyone around him, including himself.
The other life is lived in computers, where you go by the hacker alias Neo and are guilty of virtually every computer crime we have a law for.
Both the Matrix and Morpheus detected the anomaly. The difference, however, is that the Matrix saw trouble while Morpheus saw hope. So in this video, we're breaking down exactly how Morpheus identified Neo long before they ever met face to face. How a belief-driven hunt inside a simulated reality led to the most important handshake in cinematic history. And why the most critical test Morpheus ever gave Neo wasn't about skill, strength, or destiny. It was about choice. Let's start with the digital breadcrumbs Neo left behind and why they mattered more than he ever realized. Thomas Anderson was a software programmer for a respectable metacortical company. He showed up on time, he filed reports, he blended in, but at night, he became someone else entirely. Neo, a hacker, someone who didn't just question the system, he actively violated it. And this double life was the first signal. See, the agents knew about Neo long before Morpheus ever made contact. Agent Smith even admits it during the interrogation scene.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson.
But here's the difference. The agents saw an anomaly, someone who had the potential to destabilize their perfect simulation. The purpose of the agents of the Matrix is to weed out such anomalies in an attempt to delay the coming of the one as prophesied by the Oracle. Morpheus, on the other hand, saw something else. Because thousands of people hack systems every day, thousands of people break rules, but most of them do it for money, for power, for ego. Neo was different. He wasn't hacking because he wanted to get rich. He was hacking because something felt wrong, because reality didn't add up, because there was this persistent, gnawing sensation that he couldn't shake. Neo was seeking something, but he didn't know what it was he was seeking. He was confused at best. Neo himself describes it perfectly when he meets Trinity.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
Unlike most people who would be spooked by such a question, Neo was brave enough to ask these questions. That's not normal curiosity. That's existential dread. That's someone who's already rejecting the Matrix on an instinctive level, even if they don't consciously understand why yet. And Morpheus was hunting for exactly that. Someone who felt the splinter before they could see it. But feeling it isn't enough. Anyone can feel uncomfortable. Anyone can sense something's off. The real question is, what do you do about it? That's where Trinity comes in. Morpheus never approaches first. That's the part most people miss. He doesn't knock on doors. He doesn't send introductory emails. He doesn't recruit. He sends Trinity. And Trinity isn't there to convince Neo of anything. She's there to verify one thing. Is he already searching? When she meets him at the club, she doesn't waste time with small talk. She cuts straight to the truth.
I know why you're here, Neo. I know what you've been doing. I know why you hardly sleep. Why you live alone and why night after night you sit at your computer.
She was validating Neo's suspicions and at the same time offering a path. Because Morpheus doesn't need recruits who can be persuaded. He needs people who are already awake enough to know they're trapped, even if they can't articulate it yet. Then Trinity says something that reframes everything.
It's the question that drives us, Neo. It's the question that brought you here. You know the question, just as I did.
What is the Matrix?
Neo's already asking it. He's been asking for it for years. That's why he hacks. That's why he can't sleep. That's why his entire life feels like a performance he's trapped inside. Trinity doesn't give him the answer. She just confirms he's asking the right question. And then she delivers the kicker.
The answer is out there, Neo. It's looking for you. And it will find you if you want it to.
Notice the language. If you want it to. Not if you're ready. Not if you're smart enough. If you want it. Because the Matrix doesn't lose people through force. It loses them through choice. And Morpheus knows that better than anyone. But wanting the truth and surviving the truth are two very different things. The Matrix doesn't let go easily. And when it realizes Neo is slipping away, it pushes back hard. Morpheus doesn't just observe from a distance. He engineers situations that force Neo to reveal who he really is. The Matrix does the same thing, just with very different intentions. What follows is a series of escalating tests. Each one strips away another layer of comfort from Neo. Each one forces Neo to choose between safety and truth. Test 1, the office escape. Neo's at work when his phone rings. It's Morpheus, and he's not calling to chat.
They're coming for you, Neo, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Then comes the impossible choice.
There are two ways out of this building. One is that scaffold, the other is in their custody. You take a chance either way. I leave it to you.
Neo looks at the scaffold, wind whipping, 50 stories up, certain death if he falls. He chooses the door. He fails the test. But here's what matters. Morpheus doesn't abandon him. He doesn't write him off as a coward. He waits. Because fear is human. Hesitation is normal. What Morpheus is measuring isn't bravery. It's whether Neo will keep moving forward, even after he fails. Test 2, the interrogation. The agents have him now. And Agent Smith wastes no time breaking down exactly what they know.
It seems that you've been living two lives.
One life as Thomas Anderson, program writer for a respectable software company. The other as Neo, a criminal guilty of virtually every computer crime they have a law for. But Smith isn't interested in prosecuting petty cybercrimes. He wants Neo to do something for him, help them catch Morpheus. Neo refuses, and that's when things get horrifying. Smith leans in close and says, "What good is a phone call if you are unable to speak?" Neo's mouth seals shut. No scar, no explanation, just gone. This is the Matrix showing its hand. It doesn't argue. It doesn't negotiate. It removes agency entirely. Neo wakes up in his bed. Was it a dream? A hallucination? Test 3. The bug. Trinity and the crew pull Neo into a car. They need to remove something the agents put inside him during the interrogation. A mechanical bug crawling under his skin, burrowing toward his spine. Neo watches in absolute horror as they extract this thing from his body. And in that moment, everything he thought he knew about reality shatters.
Jesus Christ, that thing's real!
Not, was that real? That thing's real. Present tense. Immediate. Undeniable. This is the moment Neo stops theorizing and starts knowing. The Matrix isn't a metaphor. It's not a philosophical exercise. It's a cage, and you realize it is a cage without walls. At least the walls aren't visible to everyone. And now, Morpheus can finally step forward, because Neo has passed the only test that really matters. He didn't give up. Now, Morpheus finally reveals himself. Not in some shadowy alley, not through cryptic phone calls, face to face, eye to eye. And the first thing he says changes everything.
At last. Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
But it's what he says next that reframes the entire hunt.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
He's not surprised by Neo's confusion. He expected it, because he's been here before, with others who almost made it, who almost woke up, but didn't. Then comes the confession.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it.
Morpheus isn't guessing. He's describing his own experience, his own awakening.
You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
Think about that. Neo spent maybe a few years hacking, searching, asking questions. Morpheus spent his entire life hunting for the one, watching, waiting, hoping that this time, this person would be different. But belief isn't enough. The Oracle told Morpheus he would find the one. She didn't tell him how to verify it. So Morpheus created his own test, the ultimate test, choice. He holds up two pills, red and blue, and he explains the stakes with absolute clarity.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Notice what he doesn't do. He doesn't tell Neo which one to take. He doesn't pressure him. He doesn't promise that taking the red pill will make him special, powerful, or important.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
He just offers the truth.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Because here's what Morpheus understands, that the agents never could. The one cannot be forced. The one cannot be manipulated. The one cannot be tricked into salvation. The one must choose freely, or he's not the one at all. Neo reaches out, takes the red pill, swallows it, and Morpheus smiles. Not because the hard part is over, because it's just beginning. But there's something deeper happening here. Something about the nature of belief, recognition, and why Morpheus's method was the only one that could ever work. So how did Morpheus find Neo? He didn't. At least not in the way we usually think about finding something lost. Morpheus found Neo by recognizing the signs of someone who was already escaping, someone who was already rejecting the Matrix on an instinctive level, someone who couldn't stop asking the question even when it cost him sleep, safety, and sanity. The digital trail mattered. The hacking mattered. Trinity's verification mattered. But none of it would have meant anything if Neo hadn't made the final choice himself. Because here's the truth Morpheus understood from the beginning. You can't find the one. You can only recognize him when he chooses to wake up. The Oracle didn't give Morpheus a name. She didn't give him coordinates. She gave him belief, and belief required patience. It required watching. It required waiting for someone to reveal themselves through their own actions, their own choices, their own refusal to accept comfortable lies. When Morpheus finally meets Trinity after Neo takes the red pill, he says something that captures everything. We've done it, Trinity. We've found him. But he's wrong about one thing. They didn't find Neo. Neo found himself. Morpheus just knew how to recognize it when it happened. And that's the answer. Morpheus found Neo the same way anyone finds the truth. Not by searching harder, but by learning to see what was already there. Neo was never hidden. He was waking up, and Morpheus was the only one paying attention.